Hi everyone, my name's Campbell and I study automotive engineering at RMIT. Now, automotive engineering is all about the development of cars, trucks, motorbikes, bicycles, and all other vehicles. And we look after the look and feel of those vehicles, in particular, making them more environmentally friendly and, of course, reliable. Now, just briefly, I'll start with an introduction with 3D printing, which is about the conversion from a digital model on your computer to a small plastic model that you can hold. Now, these plastic models can range from this size up to about 30 centimeters in length, depending on the 3D printer you use. Um, and in my degree, I've used 3D printers a few times to make prototypes for projects that I've been working on. And now I'll show a couple of my products on the screen just as an example for you. In the engineering industry, 3D models are used for a similar reason, so creating prototypes in order to test and enhance the final version. Um, and 3D models can also be used, believe it or not, for things like molds to make jewellery out of. So they can be used in multiple different industries. Now, for people just getting started with 3D printing, if you've never tried it before, I have a couple of tips. So start off with a simple model. Don't go too complex, because if it's too complex, it's a lot harder to rearrange the orientation of the model in the 3D printer, as well as if you have part of the model that overhangs, you need support structures there as well. So start off with a simple model and just play around with the settings of your printer as well as your computer program, and see how the final version turns out. Now, there are a few different programs to design your models with, including SolidWorks and CATIA. From what I hear, most of the industry uses SolidWorks, but I find CATIA a lot easier to use. Whichever it is, I find YouTube tutorials very helpful to get better at the program, so I'd suggest that as well. Now, just to finish off, if you're still curious about the subject, the internet is a wonderful place. Otherwise, I'm sure your technology teachers will be glad to help you with any questions you have. All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Hi guys, my name is Julia and I am currently studying a double degree at RMIT University in mechanical engineering and industrial design. I'm doing this degree because I really enjoyed math and science in high school, but I'm also really creative. And when RMIT announced that they were doing this double degree, I became really interested, as it had best of both worlds for me. The degree has a really good balance between engineering and design. I do a lot of subjects that are very physics based, really mathematical based, which I really enjoy, as well as a lot of design based subjects, a lot of problem solving through design, learning design techniques, sketching, prototyping. It's a really good balance between the two. I'm in my final year, and I found that the two degrees really go hand in hand as they really complement each other. The engineering really teaches me how things work, while the design teaches me how to make things look. And having those two combined is really, really helpful because I have an advantage on anyone in a single degree by understanding both sides. So not only could I design something to make it look good or make it ergonomic or make it work for someone, I can also make sure that it can physically work in our reality. But the first time I heard about 3D printing was probably my first year of uni. Before that, I hadn't heard about 3D printing. It wasn't a thing in high school for me or primary school. And it wasn't a subject where I learned how to do CAD, which is computer aided design. And we had to design a product. I decided to design and build a Converse shoe sole. And then get a 3D printed. So this was the first thing I ever saw 3D printed, and I did it for an assignment. That was around 6 years ago now, and it was probably one of the first things in engineering that really caught my eye, that I thought was a really cool technology, because essentially it had so many uses. I could use it to prototype for design projects, to see what my ideas could look like in real life, and not have to put in a lot of hours of, working wood or foam core or other stuff. And the engineering behind it was really, really fascinating. Throughout my degree, 3D printing has popped up more and more and more. I have pretty much been able to witness it evolve to the general public as I've been at uni. So in the beginning, it wasn't that popular. It was very kind of niche, and a lot of, specific users had it. And now it's like almost everyone can have a 3D printer at home. And obviously when I say 3D printing, the first thing that everyone thinks of is just your basic, polymer filament 3D printer that you can build at home or have at home and build something from the base up. 3D printing isn't just limited to that type of printing though. There's so many different types now, trying to get as many different materials involved. I have been super fortunate to have some experience with other types of plastic printers that use plastic powder, ones that use liquid plastic and print using light sources as well. I got to meet a doctor whose final PhD project was 3D printing food for patients who had difficulty in eating. So the printer would, choose different types of proteins and vitamins and minerals that maybe this patient needed, and would print them together to create a meal for them. So 3D printing doesn't necessarily mean having to print a physical object. It could also take that idea of getting a material and putting it out as a source for anything really. With my degree, I was super fortunate to do an internship. I took a year off studying and I moved to Barcelona in Spain and did an internship where I worked with SLM 3D printers. So that stands for selective laser melting. And it is a specific 3D printer that works with metal powders. At this internship, I learned a lot about industrial design, about designing for 3D printing, the engineering behind the machines. I got to work on the machines a lot and print a lot of different projects, do a lot of material testing, try and solve modern problems with modern solutions. So moving away from injection molding, moving away from, milling apart, to creating parts straight away in 3D printing. Not only was I able to get some amazing, career experience in a topic that I really have come to love and enjoy working in, I got to live in Spain, and in Barcelona at that, I got to, eat Spanish food, go to the beaches, travel around Europe. I made a heap of friends from all around the world. If you are ever considering doing an internship or a placement, I highly recommend it. And if you could do it overseas, even more so. Being in Australia, getting a chance to live in Europe was just a dream come true. Since coming back from my internship in Spain, I have now moved on to a job that uses the same SLM printers to 3D print parts in titanium. I work for a company that custom makes road bikes, and we make the bike from scratch, and all of the lug sets or the joins and the brackets in the bike are 3D printed in titanium. And I'm the person who sets up the prints, puts it into the machine, makes sure the machine's running, extracts these prints and make sure they're properly treated so that they're ready to be built into bikes and, for the customers to enjoy. Being interested in 3D printing and this technology has really opened up a lot of doors for me, and really been able to, show me the world, to get really good experience, to learn another language. And I would recommend it to anyone. Even if it's not 3D printing, finding something that you love and pursuing it and being interested and learning. It's a really great opportunity, and you never know what's going to be around the next corner, what's going to be waiting for you, where it might take you. It's an industry that takes on curious people regardless of anything else. And if you are passionate and really into 3D printing, I recommend that you take it on, buy yourself a 3D printer, build one at home, get into the technology there. And then once you've got it, there's just an infinite amount of things that you can print on it and learn from it. There's websites online that have a full community of people sharing their designs that you can print, you can build upon. Even now with all the COVID stuff, you might have seen people 3D printing the head straps for the medical workers to help them wear masks for longer so that they're not hurting their ears and their faces. This technology has infinite uses, and it's only getting more advanced and better every day, and including more materials. And why wouldn't you want to be part of that, that advancement and being able to create different things in different ways? So if you're interested in it, definitely start looking and researching and doing whatever you can to get involved. And if you're not into that 3D printing, take that on and put it into something else. As long as you find something that you're really passionate about, just go with it, and you will find a way. But yeah, thanks guys.